Have you ever heard of RyanP? I haven't. I don't know who he is. Just kidding. He's the Misfits Lunch Club and Dream Team manager. He manages their channel, he manages their lives, and apparently also manages several sexual allegations. It all started back in September of 2022 when Noah Hugbox released a twit longer, the content of which was mainly about Call Me Carson drama, a lot of sexual allegations which were being thrown around back then as well. And I'm not going to get into all that. I'll let that sleeping dog lie, as they say. I don't think that's how they say it, but that's what we're going to go with. But it also has some other interesting facts. Basically, it states Carson had a whole Discord of content creators that aided him in strategizing damage control in the lead up to the drama alert, because naturally, Ryan had gone behind my back, warned him, and tried to prep him. And that's kind of interesting. This is the first mention, at least in this instance, in this scenario, of Ryan having his fingers in the proverbial pie. But it is not the only mention in this twit longer. Quote, I was told that in private Ryan had said,
and I know this is all going to sound like a joke. Noah is like the Joker. He just wants to see my whole operation burn.
I didn't see how exposing a weirdo would bring down his whole operation, but that started to make sense later. Ryan pushed me to make a commentary-style expose video on Carson, for which I had no interest because I don't believe in profiting off of something like this. Well, I do! Then, in March of last year, he called me and said to me, verbatim, you can never tell anyone about this. The problem for you has always been money. How much do you need to stop talking about this? And his defense to all this? He switched up his meds. Granted, the guy Noah never provides any proof, any pictures, any real evidence of that these conversations went down, so it's all allegations. It's all just allegedly, you know? We can't say that this is fact. We can't say that this actually happened. There's no proof of this. What we do know is that Ryan does manage all those channels. He does have the power, and he's not the only person, and Noah's not the only person to list various things that Ryan is trying to pay off people for various other nefarious purposes, allegedly. And then, 3 days later, Peckett, at Peckett on Twitter, 26th of September 2022, also lists a, not necessarily twit longer, but a personal testimony of various sexual accusations while he worked for RyanP, and we'll read it here. Throughout my time working with the Misfits and their merch company, I was continuously put into extremely uncomfortable situations with Ryan, and made me partake in sexual acts which I would only ever agree to after being coerced, told I would get a promotion, get to live with my friends, taken on overseas trips, or made a money offer I wasn't in the position to refuse, as I was underpaid and never paid on time. I've witnessed him perv on his employees in the shower, break into clients' phones to search for private videos, take advantage of men who he has given way too much alcohol and drugs. He uses his money and influence to manipulate vulnerable people into fulfilling his sexual desires. I know of many more stories that would make me sick and give me nightmares to this day. It's not my place to share them, but to others with similar experiences, you're not alone. The Misfits are aware of at least some of these actions and choose to look the other way and leave their audience and staff open to abuse. I have lost all respect for them. Having a platform is a privilege, and the people that allow you to have one should be protected. Granted, Peckett doesn't disclose his age or any proof, and hasn't to this day as far as I'm aware. I mean, I've looked all over, I can't find it. I did a couple Google searches, a couple Reddit asks. I've even went all over Twitter, trying to find some information. This post has been deleted, it's gone. You can't even find this post anymore. But because if these allegations are true and you're not releasing any proof, that's slander, and also you're still harming others by not releasing proof. I mean, if this is in fact real, send the guy to jail, you know? Send him to jail. He shouldn't be allowed to, you know, be on the streets still doing these things if these things are in fact true. You need to take it. You're not helping anybody by keeping these things private. Or maybe he doesn't have any proof. I don't know. I couldn't find any proof. Who knows? It could come out sometime this week. It's been crazy all week. This has just come out. A lot of stuff is coming out. And in fact, this, on the 9th, on the 9th of this very month, 10/9/23, at Wilgoons also releases allegations, and that these things happened back in 2020. And we'll read this for you as well. I was introduced to the Misfits and RyanP back in 2020. I was 18, 19 at the time, with a huge passion for content creation. Having the opportunity to be friends with all the boys at the time was a gift. I didn't want to mess it up. Ryan took a quick interest in me. He showed me what it was like to have FU money. I've never had FU money, so experience it made me want it. I was going through a rough time with my family, and he sent me a hefty sum to keep me on my feet and continue the content grind because he saw potential in me, even offering me to send someone to my house to fix internet issues. He was that friend who would try and help in any way he could. I was being blindly groomed. Ryan added me on Snapchat, and after some back and forth of basic small talk, he then started to ask me questions about my sex life, and then went on to ask if I was hung, and if I had. Okay. Trying to convince me to send nudes. After some time of me being obviously hesitant, he then sent me $500 and explained if I sent him a nude, he would send a lot more money. I was put in a position where at the time I felt like if I said no to him, it would cost me the possibility of maybe being managed by Ryan or MMG in the future. And I also needed money. I was jobless, giving all my focus to creating content. So I sent it to him. He gave me more money, and it became a reoccurring thing until I blocked him when he accidentally saved my nudes to his camera roll. Probably to use as blackmail because he was so scared of people finding out how much of a well, I can't say that on the internet. He is if I ever decided to speak out against him. Ryan would invite me to his little parties over at his place, and one occasion, at the end of the night, he asked if I wanted to jump into the outdoor spa with him, and I said sure. Ryan started to touch my feet under the water in the spa, making me freeze up. I was stuttering to get out and have a shower. Ryan then insisted that I use his shower. While in his shower, Ryan didn't give any warning and just walks into the bathroom and starts to take a pee. He then said, "Oi, look at this, Gonnan!" And he turns around with his hand on his penis, wiggling it while he stares straight into my eyes with his head slightly tilted down, giving me the creeps. Oh my, this just keeps going and going. I laughed because I didn't know what to say, and he just walked out, leaving the door ajar just enough to catch him looking at me in the shower. After that experience, I was hesitant to go over. About a year or so later, at his new house, he told me to come into his room and told me to lie down on his bed, and then proceeded to show me nude photos/videos of a friend of mine, and I immediately felt uncomfortable. The rest of stuff is pretty graphic, and I am going to link the whole post so that you can go read. But I can just say this. It's not good. It's not good. These allegations are quite condemning. And this isn't, as well as before, there is no proof. There is no text messages. There is no videos. There is no nothing. There's no records of the payments being made. Maybe it was cash. I don't know. But, there is no records of anything. You would think if you're starting to feel uncomfortable about all this, you would start to keep records or something. You would, have proof. And this is kind of an ongoing thing where these people have no proof. It just keeps going and going and going. And nobody has proof. Nobody's stopping him. Nobody's, doing anything about this. If he, in fact, is the alleged person who's giving money under the table, silencing various sexual acts for content creators, this needs to come out. And by holding this information, you're hurting the people that you're trying to so-called protect by releasing this information. You're not helping, you're hurting. You need to release this information. I mean, since this post has come out, other people have also released their, experiences, again, with no proof. It's all allegations. And if you don't have proof, it's called slander. You can't slander somebody on the internet. I mean, you currently are, but you need proof. And another thing is, RyanP has deleted his Twitter account. As far as I can tell, I couldn't access his Twitter account. I couldn't find it. I could see pictures. I could see links. But when you click on him, it just says this site can't be reached. So I assume he deleted his Twitter account. When this was deleted, I don't know. I didn't look. I didn't put in that time to look at that research because I was trying to get this out as quick as possible for you guys. But, I mean, he could have deleted it a long time ago. I'm not quite sure. All I know is it's gone now. So he has not responded. In fact, that's the smartest thing anyone could do, is not respond to these allegations, especially when there's no proof. You don't want to give them evidence necessarily to kind of trip you in your words and make you say something that you didn't mean or didn't, it's not the same. So it is kind of smart that he's not doing. I'm not defending an alleged pedophile, but I am saying that is the smartest thing he has done, and that's the smartest thing anyone could do until proof comes out. And I hope that proof, if this is true, does come out, because it is just tearing up so much stuff over in Australia. You've got so many people apparently affected by this that should not be, and if you would have released this, would have made this known back in 2022 or whenever the first released. Let's see when it was. It was back in 2022. If you would have released all this information then, we wouldn't have to deal with it now. So it's kind of what you reap, you're gonna sow, or what you don't pull out of the ground, you're gonna still have to deal with later on. These weeds just keep coming back. It's just something reoccurring. You can't stop it. You can't get rid of it. It just, until you bring forth proof, you can't get rid of them. And even though these allegations are disgusting, they're not consensual, they're horrendous, honestly. He does say he was 18, 19, so you can't get him for being a pedophile. If anything, you can get him for being a rapist. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, so I'm gonna censor that. But I think you all know what I'm talking about. But I'm not gonna show any more people's posts on it. They don't have proof. And I feel like if this does come out that these are false allegations, I don't want to get any backlash for it. And I know people say, "Oh, just support him, just believe him automatically." People's lives can be ruined by allegations like this. I take this stuff very seriously, so I'm not going to be releasing or showing any more proof or visuals, reading anything more for you until solid evidence comes out. And then maybe we'll do another video on this. I hope that solid evidence does come out, like pictures, some way of screenshot of text, something, so that we can finally, if this is true, if this alleged list is in fact real, we can put this guy in the proverbial ground where he belongs and not let him continuously run free, causing chaos and drama. Also, subscribe. The next 5 subscribers I will list at the end of the next video. Thank you. You have a good day.